Hello class, this is Mr. Broussard and I'm sending you this video for the second week of our beginning English course for the fall of 2020. I hope all of you are doing well. First things first, the diagnostic was initially due Monday night going into Tuesday morning. I gave an extra 24 hours. Many of you took advantage of those 24 hours and got it turned in. Not all of you have. There's some of you still owe me a diagnostic. Another thing about the diagnostic, as I noted yesterday, is it has to be done. It is the initial, not only does it need to be done because it tells me, what areas in which you need help in, it's also the initial indicator that you are a part of this course. It must be done so that you can get credit for having actually attended the course. There's still some of you who have not turned it in. One of you has contacted me and I contacted you back. Hopefully you get this. And I have told that one person that you must send the diagnostic to me as an email attachment. And that is the only way I'll accept it at this point, unless it's already been turned in. Before I leave my office today, which, assuming I can make it that long, considering my illness and everything, should be 4:45 this afternoon. Even if I leave early today, as long as you get it to me as an email attachment by 4:45, I will accept it and will not withdraw you from the course. However, if I do not have your diagnostic in my electronic possession by 4:45, and either having already turned it in through Canvas or having sent it as an email attachment, you have been withdrawn from this course. Please don't send me emails begging, screaming, crying, and no, you having the wrong thing or this, that, or blah, blah. At this point, you've already been notified, both initially when you came to the school, through Canvas message from the school itself, and now through me, that your work has to be done through a personal computer, a PC, or a Mac. It has to be done through a computer, a traditional computer. It cannot be turned in through an iPad or any other type of tablet, nor can it be turned in through your phone. Some of you said yourselves you were having issues being able to turn it in. Exactly. It would not let you click the thing to then turn it in. Not to mention that even if it did, the file itself might not be readable, or even if the file itself is readable, what might show up might be a jumbled mess of what you intended to turn in. You were notified of this from the school now apparently twice, and now again from me a third time, and now through this video a fourth time, that it couldn't be done that way. It has to be done through a regular computer, either a personal computer or a Macintosh through Apple. Note, the Mac through Apple is fine, but an iPad, iPhone, or whatever else is not, simply because of the type of, and actually to be brutally honest, even only a few years ago, the Mac wasn't acceptable because their version of Word wasn't readable for some reason. And noting also that any and all work has to be done through Microsoft Word. So those of you who have not turned it in, you have till 4:45 this afternoon to turn it in a way. Again, I'm not reopening the box. I'm not going to reopen the box. But for those of you who have not turned it in, you can send it as an email attachment. That's the only way I'll take it, as an email attachment of a Word file. An email attachment of a Word file. I will not accept it the other way. Do not type it into the email and send it. I will not accept it as the body of an email. It has to be an attachment because it has to be a Word file. If you don't do that by 4:45 this evening, you are withdrawn from this course. So you've already been given enough warning, so make sure you get in it the way it's supposed to be. That is as far as that. I will do my best to try to grade your diagnostics today. I cannot make any promises about anything right now because of my health, so I don't want to say it's going to be done today. I'm going to try to get it done today, but I don't know from moment to moment, how my health is going to be, so I don't want to make that promise. But I'll try my best. Now, I do want to let you know what work you do need to do for this upcoming week. So we'll go ahead and start. I did typed it out for you and placed it under announcements yesterday, but I do want to go over and kind of explain a few things. First things first, go over the syllabus. That should be self-explanatory. Read your syllabus, because a lot of things that maybe some of you have had some questions about are answered by it. And in general, always read the syllabus, and here's why. It's the general framework of the whole course, so most of the questions you're going to have about things that go in with the course will be answered by it. But be honest, more importantly than that is, when you ask your instructor questions in college, instructor, professor, when you do get to a university level, that are answered by the syllabus, you make them very unhappy. We have T-shirts. In fact, I have one that I hope to, once I get over whatever this is and get back in shape like I was before all this hit me. That said, it's just a T-shirt says it's in the syllabus, because it's a running joke with instructors and professors in all colleges across the country, community colleges, junior colleges, universities, regular colleges. It's a running joke because the students are constantly asking questions that are answered by the syllabus. Whereas if you just read the syllabus, you'd have your answer already. And most instructors like myself will not answer. If you ask a question that's obviously given to you by the syllabus, in general, just say it's in the syllabus. We'll try to be a little nicer about it, considering we know with everything that we're dealing with right now, everything's totally different and understandable. And as I said before, I'm going to try to be more understanding of you and have you be more understanding of me. But that doesn't eliminate some certain basics that need to be understood. And the syllabus and understanding and reading the syllabus and understanding the syllabus is one of those. Another one of those things that I've already dealt with a couple of you is email etiquette. Some of my fellow instructors are now making it a part of their course. I haven't yet, but after just dealing with your class in the last week, I'm going to make it mandatory in the future. And that is teaching you how to send a proper email, and in particular, proper email to a college instructor, professor in a more proper setting. Things like, it's called Mr. Broussard. When you are referring to me, it's Mr. Broussard. Don't call me Barry. I used to be like, oh, it would be fine if the student called me by my first name. My first boss here was like, nope, you make them call you Mr. Broussard. My now boss here, she's like, you make them call you Mr. Broussard. And now, as someone who has amassed, is on his 9th year here, I now totally understand why. So you will address me as Mr. Broussard in emails, and if you were to physically be in my presence, you would also call me Mr. Broussard, or else I just won't respond to you. One of you I did respond, but it was because you were withdrawing anyway, so who cares as far as that. But make sure of that. 2, and I did get an email back from this student, and she noted she didn't know this, and I understand this because part of the reason why some of my colleagues are teaching email etiquette is because a lot of you don't know this. You weren't taught this. These are things we were taught and we thought it was automatic, but what happened is that kind of got left to the side as other things got more emphasized, or in some cases, nothing was emphasized. Proper email etiquette in particular, when you all cap somebody, you are yelling at them. And that is not good to do to anybody, but in particular, your instructor in the course or your professor when you get to a university. It wasn't really that cool. You shouldn't have done it to your teacher if you did that to them in high school. And I cannot stress this enough, contrary to popular belief, this is not the 13th grade. The important word in Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College is college. This is college, and we're going to treat you like at college. We're going to give you more leniency than we would normally, and definitely more leniency than I would, simply because of the situation at hand. But you need to still understand that there's a certain protocol that must be met when communicating with an instructor or professor, or quite frankly, anyone who is in a position where you need to make sure that they have that respect in education, in business. Because trust me, if you send emails like that to the person you work for, you won't be working for them long. And so that is an area that we need to make sure. And I'll do that more in our personal correspondences, and I will note these things. Another thing that I just sent the email back to the student, and some of you have already done this to me. And again, I'm going to try to be understanding more so than not because of everything going on. If you send an email to your instructor after their office hours are over, do not expect a response until the following morning. And if the following morning happens to be after the assignment in question is due, that's on you for waiting so long. That's on you for waiting that late to respond to your instructor. And I want to note this was one of you already said, that wasn't your intent. And I understand what you were talking about. But it wasn't just you, by the way. I've had that happen a couple times, and in particular in this class. So do understand, believe it or not, I have a life. Although right now I don't because I'm sick. But in general, I have a life. I used to have a really fun life before all this came along. But truthfully, even now, the moment I leave here, I'm not thinking a single thing about anything of this job. And I wouldn't be doing that, quite frankly, anyway, simply because I'm my own person, but especially now, because the moment I get home, I'm basically laying down, and I'm laying down until I fall asleep and continue to sleep until I get up in the morning, because that, unfortunately, is the life I have right now. I basically use what energy I have to do this job and then go about my business. So I'm not going to respond. In fact, I haven't taken this laptop that's next to me home once for that particular reason. Right now, I need my time to be my time, because if I don't heal, you're gonna have another instructor soon. Some of you might be like, hell yeah, but I've got to take care of me right now. But to be brutally honest, even if I wasn't having this issue, my life is my life. So after a certain time, I put my hours in here. I've got my work done here. I have my own hours. You have access to my hours. That is posted under the announcements tab. Pretty much constantly check your announcements tab, because that's where I'm going to send you information. But please understand that I'm only doing this for a certain amount of time, and then I have a physical copy of my office hours. Where you see the blanks, you're not going to hear from me. You're definitely not going to hear from me. So, though I will make an effort, starting once I'm better, to at least on Sunday afternoons, if you do send something over a weekend, to try to check to give you what answers I have. But again, a reminder that my life is my life. In fact, to be honest, the reason your assignments, you may have noticed, they're due on Tuesday mornings at 2:59 a.m. So you might be wondering why. I mean, they're actually due at different times, and I think one of you emailed me. So there's certain different times, but I tend to no longer have things that are due on Monday. And if I do, I'm going to change that. And the reason is simple. Because this is an online course, I want to be able to answer whatever questions you need answered on Monday when I come in here. Because I want to be able to have my own weekend, but also give you the ability to have an answer to your question in case, truth is I shouldn't have to do that, because you shouldn't be waiting to the last minute to do all these anything anyways. But as a part of trying to be more accommodating, I will afford for that. I'm not going to make promises that I'm going to check it on Sunday. What I do have to do, because it's part of my job, is on Monday when I am here, I will then answer whatever questions you need. But guess what? Then you're stuck Monday night making sure you correct what needs to be corrected and getting things done. So please understand these things. So let me get back to what it is you need to do. I already said go over the syllabus. Online library orientation. I may have said video before, and may say video. It's actually not a video, it's just a PowerPoint. Just look at the PowerPoint. There's some questions at the end, answer them. You might not be able to answer all of them, because I think one of the slides went missing. But answer what you can, you'll get credit for it. It's really another one of those assignments that's basically, hey, I've done my stuff. And then you know that you have the ability to utilize the library if you're ever physically on campus. Even if you're not, contact them through email or call them, and you should be fine. You need to read Chapter 8, the Illustrating Rhetorical Mode. This is the first of the rhetorical modes, which will be the first of the paragraph compositions that you will write in this course. So make sure you read this chapter. It will give you the basics of your paragraph structure, having a topic sentence be your first sentence of your paragraph, having at least three internal sentences that will be the internal bodies, the structure, the content of what your paragraph will be about, and then a nice concluding sentence at the end, nice little snap, drop the mic moment at the end. In all these sentences you need at least 5 strong sentences in the paragraphs, and in all paragraphs you write at least 5 strong sentences and have at least 4 full lines of text. That's why I brought that out in the diagnostic. What I asked for in the diagnostics for structure is how every single thing needs to be structured in this class, save one assignment, and that is the one essay you will do at the end of the semester, which will be your final essay exam. Will count as your final exam. But even then, the same structure of MLA 8 stuff must be done. You must have headers, page headers, and titles. If you don't, you'll start earning zeros. I already saw some of you didn't do that. So you'll already be noted that you would not have passed the diagnostic had it been for a grade. But that's basically to give you a heads up, hey, you need to have that MLA 8 stuff there. And that is also under announcements tab. So look at the framework, and every single bit of the work that you do in this course will have that framework, MLA 8th edition framework. And the only main difference is most of the work you'll do in here will be paragraph based, but then your final exam will be essay based. You'll learn about how to do a proper essay and all that closer to the end of the semester. But as far as this paragraph is concerned, one strong paragraph of the illustrative rhetorical mode. Now, to explain the illustrative rhetorical mode more thoroughly, use examples. Basically, take examples from your own life experiences that are the reasons you feel the way you do about something. Like, when it comes to the topic, I will not give you a topic. You choose the topic in which you would like to write about. You then take that topic, but the reasoning behind the topic that you should choose is because of your own life experiences. Through the examples of either your own life or the examples of other people's lives. So you either were a part of it or observed other people and what they were dealing with. And through those examples, you decided, hey, I believe in this thing or I don't believe in this thing. So whereas an argumentative is more based, once you get to that in Comp 1, it's more based on logic, facts, and reasoning, on source material, which, by the way, you will have zero source material at all in this course. There's to not be nothing that is sourced in this class. If anything sourced appears in any composition in this course, it's an automatic 0. So everything from this course will come from your own brain. Save, you'll have like one quote for one of the journals that you'll have upcoming. And you'll note the quote and you'll note the person who said it. But other than that, everything else will be you. But yeah, when it comes to the content, just give examples. Give the examples of the things that you've done in your own life or that others have done that are the reason you believe in something, the reason you don't believe in something. So that's what I want. It could be one long thrown out example, long, I mean, it could be as small as 3 sentences. Or each individual sentence gives the example itself. Again, you can always do more, by the way. You can always have more than just the 5 strong sentences and 4 full lines of text. However, on the long end, no paragraph you write should be longer than 3/4 of a page. And for all of the work in this class, other than your final, that's easy to monitor. Because when you do the proper header, pitch, header, and title, that's 1/4 of a page. So then the content is 3/4 of a page. So it should go no longer than the first page. So no assignment in this course should have a second page other than the final exam itself. Maybe one of the reading quizzes you'll have later on you might have some. I don't think you should, but maybe you just write or type really big or whatever the hell happens there. But when it comes to the actual work in this course, composition of this course, only the final exam should bleed on to page 2. If you're doing a paragraph, either for the journal or for the rhetorical modes, and it bleeds to page 2, you've gone too long. Because you always have to remember, if you go too long, like probably this video, you lose your audience. I was told myself you should go no longer than 20 minutes. I'm already about to bump up to 18 minutes. Let me see how fast I can get through the rest of these things. Type journal tree 1. The first topic is whether or not you like reading and for what reasons. Basically say, I like to read because, or I don't like to read because, blah, 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 blah. And fully explain it in a solid paragraph of at least 5 strong sentences with at least 4 full lines of text, including the indentation of the paragraph. By the way, indent your paragraphs. The easiest way to drop points in this class is to not indent paragraphs. You do that on an essay and you fail outright. Indent your paragraphs. Hit the tab button and go on with your life. But with the indented tab, plus 4 full lines of text, which hopefully has 5 strong sentences, that's what I want on the journals, and that's what I want on the rhetorical mode paragraphs. And structure-wise, I'm going to want that within the essay itself, but it'll be a little more involved, and I'll explain that later in the semester. But yeah, journal 1, I like to read because blah, 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 or I don't like to read because blah, blah, blah. Follow the same dynamics. MLA 8, 12-point font, Times New Roman, double-spaced, all that good stuff, all the stuff I've explained earlier. Library orientation answers and sample MLA 8th edition page header and header. The orientation answers I've already told you about. Basically, look at the PowerPoint and answer the question, whatever you can. I think one of the questions, the answer's up there because the slide is missing. Don't worry about it. If you're like, I can't find this, boom, then that's the one. Don't worry about it. A sample MLA 8th edition header, page header, and title. This is important because, again, I've already seen some of you did not do this on your diagnostic. Let me tell you, in any and all other work for the rest of this class, if you do not have this, it's a 0. For no other reason is, if your name's not there, it's a 0. Full name, first and last. Some of you only put your first name, you're going to lose points big time. Actually, I'm going to say you're going to lose points big time in that, and traditionally, in a less nicer climate, it would be an automatic 0. So correct these things. Whatever that template says you need to do, you need to do. So look at the template under announcements and then give me a sample one. And that's also a part of that same assignment. And I already told you about the diagnostic and everything going there, which we just passed 20 minutes. So it's a good time to stop for you and for me. So make sure I don't get lightheaded. I have posted my office hours, but again, just to let you know, with my current health situation, I might not be as strictly adherent to it. I'll already tell you right now, next Tuesday, I will not be here after noon. I won't be here all Monday because it's Labor Day, and I won't be here after noon on Tuesday next week because I'm getting CT scan, my abdomen, my kidneys, and all that area. So just want to make you aware of that I will not be here at that time. And I may be hit or miss depending on my health, simply because, like yesterday, I made it to about 4 o'clock and then I had to leave. And I barely made it to 4, quite frankly. Struggling to make it through my day and to get these things done. So I just want to make sure you're all aware of this. If I don't respond as immediately as you would like, please understand, but also be understanding of my time, if it's my own personal time, but also by understanding. I'll try my best to respond. I try to make sure the last thing I do is check my email before I leave here. I did that yesterday, and I didn't have hardly any emails in the afternoon, and then 4 o'clock I left a little early. Sure enough, I just looked. There are 10 emails in that 4 o'clock hour. Can't wait that late because I might be on to something else and might not be able to answer simply because if I'm in the middle of answering and it hits 4:45, I'm gone. So please be mindful of my time. I will try my best to be mindful of yours and be more understanding, consider everything, and hopefully you can be of me. But there's still certain things that have to be done, so let's make sure they get done. Hope all of you are well. Hope you're not dealing with whatever this is. I still don't know what it is. I have a pretty good guess, but I've tested negative twice, so who knows. Hope you're all well, and I will send another video next week.